Blooming cold today. Don't know where you are. It's probably not. It's probably raining or snowing. It seems to be all over the place in the UK at the moment, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm on hedge trimming today, but well, I'm going to be on hedge trimming today. I've got to grease it up first. Oh God, I'm cold. But I've had a flipping nightmare this morning. Do you know one of those days where everything's gone wrong? Well, it's not everything, but you just feel like, ugh. So I went out. This is the McCormick, obviously, we use on the loader, and we used it. If you look on there, that's where the loader bucket normally sits for the rate meal. Anyway, this morning, 6:30, I was going to be putting the the maize with rate meal out. I went to start the tractor, it wouldn't start. Couldn't get it to start, flat as a pancake, and I thought, oh crikey, how's the battery on this tractor? So I went to have a look. This is where they put the battery compartment under the McCormick, and it's a right dog's dinner to get to because, well, it's not so bad now. I've cut all the cable ties around the loader, but this is where the loader connections are. I had to cut that. Then you got to lift that off there, then flip that down and pull the battery out the side. It's a real fiddle to get to. Well, it was until I sorted that out. Now I've got to re-cable tie those sometime. So we've got the battery out. I got the battery out. I looked at this battery and I thought, how old is that battery? It's blooming donkey's years old. I got a feeling it's the original battery we had when we bought this tractor. So what we did is I went down to Chandler's down Elberton, bought a new battery, brought it back here, went to fit it, and the battery terminal snapped clean off. And at that point I just thought, do you know what, I can't deal with this. I've had enough. It's cold. I've got a load of other jobs to do. I need to get on. So I rang Chandler's back and said, look, can you send one of your guys over to sort this problem out? Because I just didn't want. Sometimes, do you know, it's not all about saving money, is it? Sometimes it's just about you just don't want to do it. So the guy came over, got the battery back on. It wasn't quite the right battery for the place, but we managed to squeeze it in. But we also found a problem. Then I'll just open the bonnet a minute. Oh. So when he was about to look at the alternator for charging, he realised, there's the alternator there, that puts the charge in the battery. This bracket here was actually snapped off. You can't see, it was just floating, and so this was loose. The alternator was loose. So obviously that's the problem with charging. Let me just shut this down a minute. There we go. So if you've got a loose alternator, it's not going to perform as well as if the belts are tight. So in the end I had to rush into the workshop and weld up the bracket because it was just snapped in two bits. You know what my welding's like. So we got that sorted. Anyway, that's that done. And then after that I had to put the blooming hedge trimmer on in the afternoon. Well, if you know what this is like to put on, it's a two-man job really, because you've got to keep getting in and out of the cab to connect everything up, but also to line these up, get that lined up with and on the other side, right in, PTO on, all that blooming malarkey. So so that wasn't an easy task, especially in this cold weather. Doesn't make you feel like doing much. So now then I thought, well, I need to clean this hedge trimmer off because I haven't seen it for a while in the raw, and you need to get the dirt off to look at it. So I pressure washed this off, and you can see here that I've exposed the weld that we had where we had a repair done a few years back. That's not my weld, and you can tell that. It's a lot better than my weld. And this is when they made this, they put a steel plate in around here, look. And you can see the weld there, the steel plate, and it had cracked along the join where the weld was. So we had to get someone out, got someone in to fix that. I think I might have tried fixing it myself first of all and didn't work, so I got someone in who knew what they were doing. So that seems okay, but if I remember rightly, when I put this away, I think there might have been a bit of an oil leak, which I've just forgotten about. It's bloody typical of me, isn't it? And I'm not sure whether it's in here. There's a bit of oil floating around there, which I can't think where that's coming from, unless it's underneath these sort of castle things here. We'll wait and see on that. Now it's pressure washed off, I got an idea where the oil leak is. So I might be losing a bit of oil on there. The problem with this vehicle is there's all these cables in here, and you can't see in here very well. Even when I cleaned it off, it's hard to see what's going on in there. realistically, it's probably only when I heat up the oil, when it gets warm, that it starts running thin. It'll start coming down. So I'll probably notice an oil leak a lot more after it's got warm, which I'm not warm yet. Anyway, might have to deal with that later. The other thing as well, beacon. Look at that. Harry gave me a excuse my French. Harry gave me a telling off the other day. I hadn't sorted the beacon out, and if you look there, look, beacon. So I've ordered a new beacon for that because I smashed it last year. I think I might have caught the hedge trimmer on the beacon and cracked it. Well, I didn't just crack it, I marmalised it. So a new beacon's on the way, and me and Harry will be doing a video about that. Probably, it's good for him to do a bit of mechanics with me, so we'll probably fit that together. We'll do that another day. But I'm going to be greasing. I'm going to grease this up. Oh, I've got runny nose. Excuse me, this is all not very nice. Excuse me. That's cow udder towel. I always carry that in my pocket. Doesn't just clean udders, it's good for everything. Right, so I thought I'd tell you about my grease gun before we start though, because my hands are freezing. The old grease gun I had just one of those sort of like push-on nozzles at the end of the grease gun. And my neighbour actually said to me, he said, Rich, you ought to try one of these clip-on ones. Like this. And I thought, well, okay, I don't know anything about those, but I'll give it a go. So if you look here, right, it's got a squeezy little handle there. And at the end, when you squeeze that handle, ooh, hang on. Look, can you see that? I don't know how well that focuses on there. Look. So this comes out over the grease nipple, and then when you've got it on the grease nipple, you just let go and it retracts in. But the best thing about this is that it doesn't leak any grease around the side. The old push-on grease nipple, the problem with it is that when you pushed it on, if you weren't holding it in the right place with your hand, the grease would squirt out either side. Whereas this one, it just clips on, and then you can let go and just pump the grease into it, and it's really good. And I think there's loads of different ones out there. So me being a tight ass farmer that I am, I thought, I'll go cheap. Because what have I got to do? And this was about £5 on eBay. Really good. And I thought, I'll try cheap before I go expensive, because some of them are like 20 quid. And I'm sure probably some of them have got a double clip, and maybe a double one would be easier to handle, actually. I'm not sure. But do you know what? For a first time thing, this is brilliant. So if you've got problems with your grease gun putting it on, some of you got really good grease guns, some of you got electric and all that stuff. But basic farmer, this is a 50-year-old grease gun, believe it or not, at least 50. It's been here all my life. I've run over it once. Look, I ran over the handle. Can you see that dent? It was on the ground. Lucky I didn't run over the barrel. I ran over the handle. I mean, useless. Just changed the end. That's really good. And this changed the whole use of the grease gun. It's like Trigger's new breed though. It's got a new doodah on it. That bit's new. It's not 50 years old. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pan out the... stretch out the arm so that I can reach the grease nipples, because there's some right up the top there. And then we'll see how we go. There's always a lot of grease nipples on any moving parts on machinery. It's always finding them. I pretty well know where they are now. Look, there's some on here. I've been doing this quite a few years now. Can you see those there? And they have got little, round the side of them, I think there's little discs that say grease. They're covered up though, and they're quite corroded. Let me just put my doodah on it. God, my hands are so cold though. Look, so that clips on there like that. Hello. This is why people have an electric one, isn't it? Pump away, pumpy pumpy. Pumpy pumpy pumpy, pumpy pumpy pumpy. Oh, it's like a workout. Right. I think that is pretty well all the grease nipples apart from one, which is just under here. Right, so I've basically got to lift this header up and bend it back because I'm just bending down, look. I got to lift the header up there because the grease nipple's in a position whereas when you lay it out to do that you can't get to it. So let me just do that and then we'll do that and then we'll go and look at the rake mill because I've got to put a sheet on that and I'll show you a bit of video of it to being delivered in a minute. Let me just sort this out first though. I'm glad I got my gloves on because grease on your hands isn't very nice, really. There it is. Let me just show you. I'll take this off here. There's the pesky one there underneath there. I've got to clean that out later. But there's the grease nipple there, and I don't think there's any on the rotor. Oh, we'll just have a quick look at this. Does it need any sharpening? I don't. The main thing is there's none missing. Some of the bolts are looking all right. Just a quick. I was talking to my brother the other day about replacing this. Well, at some point I'd like to get a new hedge trimmer. I kind of think really we need to get a new rake first, and then a new hedge trimmer because this is getting on a bit now. And I said to my brother, do you know what? It's about time we had some new. We did a new fertilizer spreader and a new mower last year. I think a rake and a hedge trimmer would be nice things to have. The problem is with changing the tractors, that's a big investment. You know, I mean, I'm not sure new second-hand one of these might be 10 grand or less, I don't know. New tractor, we're talking big money, and it's pretty hard to justify the new tractor situation. Whereas if I buy this, I mean this is one of the most cost-effective machines to own on the farm, really, because the hourly rate to get someone in to do hedge trimming is quite expensive compared with, say, mowing actually. So I don't mind doing a hedge trim. It's just the ball ache of setting it all up and everything like that. Right, let's just grease this and we'll get back on the maize clamp. There's one more nipple. That's it, let's get sorted. Okay, so I'm just going to put the tractor away a minute, but in the meantime, have a quick look at this phone video I did the other day of the protein blend being delivered that we mixed with the maize. So I filmed it horizontal vertical rather than horizontal because it was for Harry's TikTok, but I thought you might want to see it. And then when I've got this put away, we're going to have a look at the maize clamp. All right, cheers, crack on. Who keeps saying that? Who keeps saying that? Right, so that was Nichols delivering our protein mix. Let's go and have a look at that now. It's in the barn up here. There we go. Quite a lot of it actually. So I've got the loader bucket on the other McCormick. So modern dilemmas we've got two McCormicks. Only one fits under the shed that goes through there. The other one, the roof is too high, hence the sticker that says roof, because we whacked the roof off it a couple of times when we first got it. So this tractor is the best one for bringing bales in and out to the dry cow shed and the backyard and stuff, because we can drive through the shed without going through the cows, and don't want to drive on the field when it's wet. So we stick to the concrete track and everything to get the bales. Hence we don't go that way. So we have to use that one really. But the trouble is, when I tie up the other McCormick on the hedge trimmer, that means this one's got to go on the loader bucket for the rake meal, because we've only got one loader bucket, we've only got one tractor, one other loader tractor. So that means then it becomes a bit of a problem, because you've got to keep dropping the loader bucket off to put the fork on to get the bales and everything like that. So we normally run it tag. We sort of have a loader bucket in here and this one on the fork for the bales, and that works well. When we're tied up with hedge trimmer, it's not so good, because you've got to keep swapping over. And really ideal world, I'd have a tractor on the hedge trimmer just left with the hedge trimmer on it the whole year round, and that would make, well, not the whole year round, but the whole winter, and then you could just nip out. But we don't do that. We try and get it all done in about a month, because we don't want to tie a tractor up too long. Right, so this is the rate meal, or the protein mix, sorry, that we got delivered. You can see it here. Let's have a close look. So this is soybean husk. A lot of this is husk from leftover from when people have their soya milk or their soya protein, like tofu and stuff. It's because they basically use the whole, which is not really edible for humans. They put it into the mix here, and there's probably some rape meal in there. This is sugar beet pulp. That's made from sugar beet. When you extract the sugar out of it, you're left with that, It's quite good for cattle, they like it, and it's good sugar content. So that's about 30-35% protein. I can't remember the exact amount. I think I just got a bit of that dust in my throat. Ugh. Right, but I haven't put the sheet on it yet, so I'm just about to do that. Realistically, we don't have a problem with starlings and stuff around here like some people do. Down in Somerset, I think. But I do tend to put a sheet over it because I think it's probably better to just cover it up. Don't want any mice or anything chewing on it. And just go over there. It's only an old tarpaulin from Screwfix. I could have just used a bit of, I don't know. We bought this tarpaulin ages ago. I thought, I don't know why I just didn't use a piece of cider sheet, really, because it does the same job. Why did I buy a tarpaulin? But anyway, it wasn't very much money, about £8 or something at the time. You know how things are now. Anything that was £8 a few years ago is probably 40 now. Right, so that's better, isn't it? I'm just going to chuck some bales down on it just to weigh it down a minute. There we go, Spider Funky Farmer there. Right, so that's our little video for today. I'm just going to get this off here. Oh, what have I done? Oh, sorry about that. You got a zoom in on my nose, which needs to get bigger every year. Right, randomly. So we're just ready to go with the protein. Go for the cows later. That's covered up. Hedge trimmers on the other tractor. Cows are grazing. They're not grazing, they're eating. Does that count as grazing? Hello. Alright. How are you? See, this is the meat where we mix the protein in with that. And let you see old. Oh, look at the dust on the lens. Hello. Sorry, you got my finger there. I don't know if that's any better or not. It's all a bit. Look, if I hold it up to the light. Oh, it doesn't look too bad, but there's dust on it. Oh, you can see the dots. That's what destroys cameras on this farm, really, is the dust on it. I can't help that, but that's just the way it is, especially the tech I use. Right, anyway. So endeth another Funky Farmer lesson. See you in the next one. I'm going to get the hedge trimmer out. Let me just rub this off. I think I've actually put grease on the lens now, which is just like Calamity Jane here. Right, we're going to be hedge trimming. Harry's going to be helping me put the beacon on. What else have we got? I don't know. I'm going to search more market. Got a tree planting. It might be out of sync, these videos. I'm recording about 4 in about 2 days, and then I just got to get around to editing and putting them up. Right. Anyway, crack on, everyone. See you soon.